Hi, I'm Paul from Production Expert. Today I'm going to show you how to track in real time using a UAD Apollo interface. One of the great things about the UAD Apollo interface is not only does it sound fantastic, it doesn't matter what the buffer setting is on your DAW. You can record and monitor in real time using the UAD Console 2.0 software without any perceived latency. Apollo includes Unison technology, which allows select UAD plugins to influence the impedance and the gain staging of the actual preamps and the high impedance inputs to even more closely match the sound of the real thing. Now I've got this song, and we need to record guitar, bass, and vocals. Now I've got the vocalist coming down later on, so I need to record the bass and the guitars before she comes. So let's start with the bass. The first thing I'm going to do is use my Unison slot here, and I'm going to load in the Ampeg B-15N. So let's set up the bass sound. So I'm going to leave it on the 1964 setting here on the first input. And let's turn the volume up here. And let's turn the treble up as well. Now it's a bit too bassy for me, so let's wind that bass all the way down to about there. And I'm going to change the bias here to the 1966 bias. So now I've got my bass sound set up. Let's close that window. And in the insert slot here, let's insert a Fairchild 660. Now the Fairchild 660 is probably my favourite plugin for using on a bass. Now with this, I've already set up a sound that I normally use. So if I go into my presets, I've actually got a folder here which I've named my presets. And I've got this one here called PD Bass Comp. So let's load that up. Now I also want to make sure this bass is in tune. So let's go into my second slot here. We're going to go down to the guitar and bass menu here. And I'm going to load up BX Tuner. And let's check it's in tune. And that'll do nicely. Now let's close that. Now I've also got this choice with the Apollo interface where I can record these insert slots here to my DAW. And if I come over here, I've got insert effects, UAD record or UAD monitor. Now with the monitor, that's just monitoring through the insert effects here. And if I push the UAD record, that means that those inserts will also be recorded with my signal down to my DAW. Now there's also another thing you can do here. If I switch onto my inserts, now I can turn this off per channel. So for instance, I can just monitor on this channel and record on this channel. So I don't know exactly the amount of compression that I want to use. So I'm going to keep this off for the moment and I'm not going to record it. I'm just going to monitor through it. Now let's switch over to my DAW and let's record some bass. So here's my Pro Tools session. Now I'm plugged into the front of the Apollo 8 here and I'm plugged into input number 1. So I need to choose mic line high impedance number 1. Now also you can see in Pro Tools that all of my outputs are set to virtual outputs 1 and 2. If we go back into my UAD console here, you'll see my virtual output 1 and 2 fader is here. I can use this fader to monitor the playback of my DAW so I can get the levels just right in my monitors. Let's put the bass track in record and record the bass. The UAD console is specifically for real-time tracking and monitoring, but you can also use all of these plugins for the mixing and mastering stage inside of your chosen DAW. Now if you remember, while we were setting up the UAD Apollo here to record, we put this track to monitor only, so we weren't actually recording the Fairchild 660 to the take. So as we did that, I can now go into Pro Tools, and I can now insert that plugin inside of Pro Tools. So I go to Plugin, down to Universal Audio, down to Fairchild 660 Mono. And if you also remember, I used a preset for this, which was PD Bass. So I go down to my UAD folder here, go to Load Preset, go to My Presets, PD Bass Comp. And that's exactly the same setting as I had when I was recording. I'll just adjust the compression so it fits in the mix. Now that we've finished recording the bass, I'm going to push the menu icon up here and push Save As and save this as PD Superglue Bass. And I can always record this if I want to add some more bass to the song or use the same sound for a different song. So I'm going to save it there. Now with the guitar, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go up to my presets here and go Menu and go Open, and I'm going to choose this preset here, PD Superglue Guitar 1. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to check the tuning on the guitar again. So we go down to Guitar and Bass, BX Tuner. Let's tune up. Now in my Unison slot here, you see I've got a Marshall Plexi. So let's get the sound right for that first of all. Now if I come over here, I can choose my channel strip settings. Now I'm quite happy with the sound, so I'm just going to leave this as it is and close that. Now this time what I'm going to do is to insert a Studer A800 into my insert slot 1. And what I'm going to do here as well, I'm also going to choose a preset. And we're going to go down to Classic Rock 15 IPS there. Now let me show you what it sounds like with and without. So that's without, and this is in. And also let me show you what the guitar sounds like with and without the Marshall Plexi in the Unison slot. So that's in, and this is out. If you look over here to my auxiliaries, I've got a reverb, I've got Lexicon 224 and a precision delay modulation in there as well. Now, if I come down to my sends, I can turn on and off the send to the reverb and on and off the delay as well. Now, when I programmed this patch, I wanted this plugin to emulate a Memory Man, which is a 1970s style guitar pedal. And the great thing about this plugin as well is that not only does it do a delay, like the Memory Man, it's also got some modulation built in as well. So the modulation affects the delays. So this time I'm going to be recording my inserts. So I'm going to go into UAD Record. I'm just going to check that by pushing my inserts here and also checking that this is in record mode as well. Now let's go to Pro Tools. And let's set up a track to record the guitar. Now, as before, I'm going to choose the same input as I'm plugged into the first input in my Apollo. Now, even though I'm going to be recording the Studer A800 tape machine to the take as well, the delays are not going to be recorded, as I'm also going to add this later in the mixing process. Let's record the guitar from about the second chorus. If you remember back in our console here, we were using this delay and this reverb. Now if you listen to the guitar part we recorded, there's no effects on it. So what I'm going to do is to set up a new auxiliary inside of Pro Tools and put the same delay in that track. So first of all, in my console, what I want to do is to open up this delay. I'm going to go to Presets. I'm going to come down to my folder here, PD Presets, and I'm going to save as Superglue Delay Guitar. Now if I go back to Pro Tools, I can set up a new auxiliary, stereo auxiliary input. I'm going to call it Guitar Delay. And now this time I'm going to load into that insert Universal Audio Precision Delay Mod Stereo. Now let's open the preset. We go down to the folder menu here, go Load Preset. I'm going to click PD Presets and I'm going to choose Superglue Delay Guitar. Now let's solo safe that send. I'm going to choose my main outputs, which at the moment I'm using Virtual Out 1 and 2. And let's turn up the send so we get the right amount on the guitar. Let's bypass that. And bring it in. And hear it in the track. next video, I'm going to be recording vocals and showing how to use the fantastic Unison preamps on offer with Apollo. So keep your eyes open for the second part of this series of videos. I'm Paul from Production Expert. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.